Okay, so let's come to our mats. It's very sunny out, beautiful on the lake today, but we might have to put the shades down. Now we're going to start laying on our bellies on the mat and sort of prone position. And I'd like you to take your blocks and position them this way, like a shoebox on the front of your mat. I think I need to angle this down a little bit so you can see me. There we go. And you have to fiddle with, you may have to fiddle with this a little bit. Coming down onto your belly. So you want to put the blocks so that you're hanging your upper arms over the blocks like this, and then your forehead down on the floor. Now, for some of you, you may need to put like some padding on the brick as well, or maybe just the padding and not the brick. So you just have to fiddle with this a little bit. This is a relaxation pose, so it shouldn't hurt. So if it's hurting, try using some padding. Or if it's just too uncomfortable, you can just simply not use the blocks. But the blocks help to open the shoulders, the heart space a little bit. And we're just going to spend a few minutes here. How are we doing there? You guys okay? Okay. Take a moment once you get into this position, maybe wiggle your hips around a little bit. I'm going to put a blanket under my head so that my voice doesn't get all muffled or is less muffled. You can have your hands either bent like a cactus arm, or you can extend them out straight, whatever feels comfortable. And just let the body feel heavy here and hang between these bricks. The gentle shoulder opener also helps to relieve stress. So just quieting the mind and coming to your breath. And breathe. Now, if you'd like to set an intention for your class here, this would be a good time to do it. An intention is, well, it can be a goal, it can be a prayer, it can be a dedication of your practice. But we're constantly setting intentions, whether we realize it or not. So we want to be conscious here about why we're here, what we'd like to accomplish, and what we'd like to send out into the world through our practice. And once you have your intention set, if you choose to do so, just come to your breath. Quiet the mind. Let go of your worries. And just noticing the breath, the sensations. Noticing the tensions as we hold tension in so many different places in our body, and it really takes that conscious, quiet awareness to really notice where we're unconsciously holding it. Relax your jaw. After a couple of minutes here, I'd like to do a gentle breathing exercise called crocodile breathing. And if you know what a crocodile looks like, they've got a big fat belly, and I'm not saying in any way that your belly is fat.
But for the point of purposes of visualization, on your next inhalation, feeling that belly press against the floor, and then spreading out the rib cage to the side, and finally filling up the top of your rib cage, the lungs, and then exhaling in reverse from the top, pressing in through the sides, and finally squeezing the belly, releasing all that stale air, and then again, inhaling through the nose, feeling the belly press, feeling the ribs expand, and releasing the top of the body to take in more air, more fresh prana, and then releasing and letting go of that which does not serve you. And just play with this breathing a little bit on your own, at your own pace. For a few breaths, just noticing where you may be holding on to tension and prohibiting that breath from fully expanding the lungs. What you may be holding on to that's keeping you from letting go. Let's do another breath or two here. Now, when you're ready, let's bring your feet up behind you, bending at the knees, and let's just do some gentle back and forth kicks as though you're swimming in a pool, just floating lazily on one of those blow up floaty things. And just gently starting to wake up the hips, the legs, lower back. Keep checking your neck. And when you're done with that, bring your feet up and then let's let them roll to the side, sort of a reverse windshield wiper, go the other way. You can let the hips sort of roll with them here. Nice and gentle. And when you're ready, bring them back to center and you can extend your legs again. Now we're just going to waken up the glutes here by just doing a gentle squeeze of the glutes. And exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze your glutes, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale, release. So important for supporting our back. Continue. Lower back especially. Helping to prevent lower back pain. One more time. And exhale, release. Now taking your bricks or your blankets, whatever you have under your arms, let's take those out now. And take your left hand and make a little pillow with it under for your forearm. Reaching back with your right arm, grabbing your right ankle. And we're just going to pull that foot up towards the leg. Now, if this is too tight for you and you can't reach that, grab your blanket, wherever mine is here,
and loop the belt. Did I say blanket? And we're just going to hold it with the belt as high as is comfortable, and just find a comfortable position, maybe with your elbow out, and just hold it there. Try to straighten your pelvic bones on the mat so we're not twisting the hips in any way. We're just working on opening those. It's actually the quads in the front of the knee, front of the leg, excuse me, above the knee. So either with the belt or with your arm, and just breathe into it. Comfortable stretch here, nothing painful or forced. And when you've done 3 or 4 or 5 breaths, whatever feels comfortable, you can release it. Give your hips a little wiggle and jiggle. Let's do the other side. So now using the other hand as a little pillow for your head and reaching back, grabbing the other ankle, again, using your belt if needed. And we're just simply pulling back on that foot back towards the glutes, towards your hips, for a nice stretch in the front of the leg. Feel free if you need to lift and reset your leg there, just to find that stretch. And breathe, relax your shoulders. And then you can release. And again, give yourself some little hip wiggles here, some jiggles. Loosen it out and awaken the lower back. When you're ready, bring your hands to your side. Inhale, press yourself up, spread your knees, and let's come into our child pose. Now remember, I gave you a bunch of various modifications for child last week, so feel free to use any of those that you'd like. Hands can be stretched in front, or you can wrap them around your legs in the back. You can use a brick or a blanket under your head if it's too uncomfortable to bring your head to the floor. And just breathing in through the back of the body, feeling the back of the ribs rise and fall. Check your neck and your jaw. Release the shoulders. And on your next breath, let's bring the arms forward, coming onto all fours, our knees and our hands. And let's just do some gentle hip, sort of snaky hip rolls here. Just sort of, you can do big circles if you'd like, just rolling the hips around, keeping the hands somewhat stationary. We're just moving the hips. Go one way and go the other way. Just exploring how your hips feel. Any areas that you might feel a couple of ouchies on, feel free to spend a little bit of extra time. If you want to just do, again, the snake rolls. And when you're done with that, let's come back to child for a couple of breaths. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, let's come back up onto all fours with your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Doing our cat cows, we did them in a seated position last week. This time, let's do it from this position, lifting our eyes to the sky, dropping the belly, and then exhale, pressing through the hands, pulling at the belly, pulling up through the core and pressing through the back of the body, making that rounded Halloween cat, and then inhale, dropping, looking up to the sky for our cow position. Exhale, pulling at the Uddiyana Bandha,
pulling those core muscles up to the spine. And just gently continue at your own pace, feeling this flexing of the entire spine from the base to the top of the head, dropping the head and feeling the rounding. And when you're ready, as you press up into your cat, this time let's tuck the toes and stretch, keep that rounding in the back and stretch back too, letting the hips fall back towards the feet. They don't have to touch the feet, but we're just getting that nice long length of the spine stretch, returning to our regular position, and then dropping the belly, looking up for a cow. Coming, exhaling into cat, again, stretching back as we keep that rounding in the back. Coming back to center, dropping the belly, looking up. Inhale. And exhale. And this time, let's come back into our child. Bring the arms to the side of the body. 2 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Gentle awakening of the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back up onto all fours. I'm going to turn this way so you can see me this time. With our hands out, we're going to take our hands out a little farther than our shoulders, actually quite a bit farther than our shoulders, and point them out at about a 45-degree angle so that, well, my thumbs are kind of facing forward. We're going to drop your left shoulder, and feel free to adjust your hand position here, dropping it as far as you can. If you can get your left cheek onto the floor, that's fine. If you can't, just go as far as you can, opening that shoulder. Then press up back to center, keeping the hands where they are, if that works for you, and then dropping the other shoulder and the other cheek to the other side. Coming back up, and then just play with this. You may have to make some adjustments on your hand position, but the point is we're trying to open the shoulders, so we don't want to be constantly moving the hands once we find a width and an angle that works for us. And just working this again, coming only down as far as is comfortable for you. Some people may have had injuries to the shoulder, arthritis, so maybe you can only go so far. So that's fine. We're working with whatever your body needs. And do a couple of these. And when your shoulders feel sufficiently open, let's come back into our child position, spread those knees and come back into child. Maybe this time bringing the arms around the side of the body just to give them a little rest. Maybe noticing as you do these various childs, maybe you find a little bit more opening in the hips, the knees. And on your next breath, let's bring the hands forward now. Coming into our baby chaturanga, which is a sort of mini push-up, just a little bit of strength work here. My shoulders are over my hands. I'm on my knees. My knees are behind my hips now, and I'm going to lower the body, keeping my elbows close to the body and bending them back, so that I'm only coming down, lowering the body about elbow height, and then pressing up. Staying on the knees, down. And inhale up. I'm going to try for 5, but you do as many as you're comfortable with. Down for 3. Pressing up. Exhale down for 4. Pressing up through the hands. Strong arms, down for 5. And come back up. Now, staying here, let's tuck our toes and lift the knees, coming into a plank for 1. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down for 2. Try for 5. Do as many as you can. Inhale up for 3 and down. Strong arms here.
Inhale up, engage your core for 4 and down. Inhale up for 5 and down. Coming back into our child position. Again, bringing your arms around the side. Relax your shoulders, take any wiggles and jiggles, maybe rolling the neck around a little bit, making sure your jaw is soft. Couple of breaths. On your next inhale, let's roll forward and come onto our bellies. Now coming into our cobra pose, bringing our hands under our shoulders, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Our feet are flat and out behind us from the tops of our feet here. Inhale, we're going to lift the head, the shoulders, and the hands and squeeze the muscles between the shoulder blades for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, hold. Squeeze, 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 strengthening those muscles. Inhale, pull those shoulders back. Squeeze. Exhale, down. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift the head, shoulders, hands, squeeze those elbows, squeeze between the shoulder blades. Exhale, hold. Inhale for 2 and exhale down. Moving on to our locust or salabhasana, we're going to inhale, lift the feet this time. They don't have to be far off the floor, but lift the feet, head, shoulders, hands. Squeeze now the whole length of the spinal column, squeezing and working all the paraspinal muscles, engaging the glutes for 2 breaths. And exhale down. Gentle back strengthener. Inhale, lift the feet, hands, head, shoulders, and squeeze the whole length of the spine. Exhale, hold. Inhale, squeeze, 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 maybe finding a little bit more height, and exhale down. Inhale, press through the hands and come in to our final child position here for 2 breaths. And relax. And when you're ready, let's come up and sit on your mat. Now, sitting in a cross-legged position. Now, if you're having trouble with this, if the knees are coming up, there's a couple things you can do. First of all, you can sit on a brick because we don't want the knees above the hips. So if you sit on a brick, that can help to get you into a better postural position. You can also, if you find your knees are coming up like this and they're just too tight to relax, use your bricks or blankets, whatever, you can also support them. We want you to be supported. I don't want your knees just hanging in midair. That can be painful. So whatever, if though even those don't work, you can just relax the pose. So don't have your legs tight up against your abdomen, or you can extend one leg. So just some options. Over time, the muscles, the things that we're doing here will relax and you will be able to get to this, but it takes time. It can take months of regular practice, not once a week, but a couple of times a week. You can get these muscles to relax because it's been a lifetime of doing a lot of sitting, a lot of driving, all the things of our daily life that have caused those muscles to tense. So whatever's comfortable. Let's just bring our hands onto our knees and do some neck rolls, drop the head, inhale to the left side, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, coming to the other side, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, inhale, relax your shoulders, check your jaw, make sure there's space between your teeth, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Inhale, check your shoulders, relax them. And exhale down the other side. Now go the other way. Inhale. Check your jaw and your shoulders. And exhale. Just taking a moment to notice anything that might feel a little tight. Continue. Feel free to spend an extra moment in those areas. Continue to breathe. And exhale. Coming to center, you can open your eyes. Let's give our wrists a little attention here. Just doing some interlocked finger rolls, maybe make bigger rolls, and engage the elbows and the shoulders. Relax your jaw. Go the other way. And then shake it out. Do some finger spreads and the fist, spread, fist, spread, fist, spread, fist. Shake it out as though you're holding a baseball in both hands. Let's do some figure eights, trying to keep the forearms and the elbows out of it as much as possible, really working into the wrist. Go the other way. Shake it out. Now with your arms, with your hands in a fist, let's just do some fist rolls. Again, trying to keep the rest of the arm straight without tensing your shoulders, just working into the wrist. Go the other way. And shake it out. Bringing your hands so that your fingers are touching the floor, if this is available to you, in front of you. And I'm pointing my fingers back towards my body just to get a nice stretch in the forearms. And if you can only touch a couple of fingers, that's fine. You can even use a brick for length on this if you're having trouble. But wherever you are, and just gently leaning into this. This is gentle. Finding that stretch. Relax the shoulders. And breathe. And then release, just noticing, shaking that out and noticing how that makes your forearms feel. Bringing the arms out to the side, pushing the wall away with your hands. One at a time, bring down your pinky, then roll in the fourth finger, the 3, the 2, and roll the thumb over those fingers. And then pull your fists down and back, opening the chest for a nice opening of the chest, the shoulders, as well as a nice stretch of the top of the forearms. And breathe. And release. Shake it out. Bring the arms out. Now this time, bring the arms so that the palms are facing forward. Thumb goes into the hand first, then cover the thumb with each finger. 2, 3, 4, 5. This time, roll the wrist up and back. Stretch on the other side of the forearms. Again, opening the shoulders. And breathe. Try not to tense your neck here or your jaw. And release. Shake it out. A next set of stretches exercise I like to do every day is to help avoid the dowager hump, that hump that some people get at the base of their neck from a lot of this kind of pattern of behavior. Let's bring our arms up into a Y. YWTLs, not YWCA, YWTLs. And I'm just pulsing my arms back. I'm pulling the arms not from the shoulder socket, but from the sides of the body. So I'm finding space in the rib cage, pulling back, opening the shoulders, opening the heart space, and just pulsing back. And breathe. And then let's bring the arms into a cactus arm thing so that your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Hands are facing forward and just pulsing back. These are your W's. Pulsing back, feeling the squeezing between the shoulder blades as you strengthen those muscles. And now extending the arms, these are our T's. And again, my hands are facing forward and I'm pulsing back, sitting up nice and tall, beautiful posture here. Check your jaw. And then bringing the elbows in against the body, hands are facing forward, and we're just going to do some pulses here, pulling the hands gently back towards the back of the body, feeling the muscles in the back of the body work as we pulse backwards. And then you can release and just shrug it out. Coming back onto your hands now, and bring your feet up in front of you with your knees spread about hip width. We're just going to do some gentle windshield wipers here now from the front. Just letting the hip lay back onto your, or lean back onto your hands, and just let the hips roll over. Maybe exaggerate that hip coming over on each side. And then at some point, bringing the opposite arm over, touching the floor. Roll over, touch the floor, just involving a little bit more of the back here, awakening the torso, getting more of a movement here of the whole spine. And when you're ready, maybe doing a lasso with the upper arm, a lasso with that arm. I keep slipping here, lasso. Lasso, I don't know, do 4 or 6 of these, whatever feels comfortable. Gentle opening, reaching with the arm. And when you're ready, let's lift the hip as we do our lasso. So lasso and lift the hip and down. Lift the hip and down. Couple more, really trying to get that hip up as high as you can. Again, lifting the hip and down. And then you can come to center. Let's come onto all fours. Bring our feet back onto our toes, lift the knees, and come into a downward facing dog. Working your feet, walking your dog. Press the hips up to the sky, making sure your hands and feet are far enough apart that you're getting a nice triangle shape. Relax the head, shake your head yes and no. Maybe turning from side to side. Do 4 or 5 breaths here, spreading the fingers, making sure that you're putting the weight of your into the tops of your hands, not dumping into your wrists. And when you're ready, let's soften the knees and walk the feet to the front of your mat. Coming into our forward fold. Now keeping your knees bent here as needed so that your hands are on the floor. And just take some gentle stretches here. And when you're ready, let's take the left hand, place it in front and between the feet, straighten your right leg, lift the right arm up to the sky. You can bend that left leg as far as you want, finding a stretch here, keeping the chin tucked. You can turn your head, but keep the chin tucked. And opening that shoulder and breathe. Reaching to the sky. Another breath and release. Coming down now, replace that hand with the other.
Bend your right leg if you're doing it the way I am, and straighten the left, taking the left arm up to the sky, reaching with that left arm, opening the shoulder. Can turn the head, but keep the chin tucked and protected. Breathe. And release, coming back to center. Coming up onto your onto your fingertips, up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back down into your fold. Bring your hands to your waist, engage your core, press through your heels, and hinge up to standing. Taking a moment here. And coming into our mountain pose. Now we're going to do this at the wall. So I'd like you to have your belt and your brick. Tadasana. Now, standing against the wall with your heels against the wall, and take the brick and place it between your upper thighs. And we're going to then, move the feet as close as possible so that you can squeeze the brick. So when we squeeze the brick, we're engaging our core, we're engaging the glutes, the outer hips, and working those muscles. I'm going to take the belt and let's just put it over our shoulder for right now. Open the shoulder, open the heart space and bring the shoulders back towards the wall. Now, for some of you, you may not be able to touch the wall, but the wall gives you that information because that's the goal, to align the hips, the shoulders, and the head over the feet. Bringing the head back to the wall as well. If you find that you can't bring the head to the wall, you can put a blanket behind your head and just press against that. Now, as we did before, coming into our Tanasana, feeling the energy rise, lifting up through the arches and lifting those arches as we simultaneously squeeze that brick and pull that energy up into the torso, enlivening our inner organs, our heart space, coming up the spinal column, actively opening the heart space and the shoulder, allowing the energy now to rise up through the back of the spine and out through the crown of the head. And you can close your eyes here and just take a few breaths. Mula's on full, the mula, the bandha's on full, the mula, the uddiyana, and the jalandhara. And then taking your belt, and we're going to make a loop with the belt. So taking it through the two metal loops and then back just through one of the loops. So you go through both and then back through one, and that helps you to make a belt. And then we're going to pull that so that it's about shoulder width. This is always the hardest part, it's just making the loop. And we want it to be about shoulder width or slightly less. Loop that over your forearms with the metal part not on your arms so you don't hurt yourself. And then bringing the arms up, pressing out against the loop. Now pull the shoulders in towards the wall. Keep squeezing the brick between your legs. Keep engaging the head with the wall. And breathe. Strong postural work here, obviously. Keep your chin up and level with the floor. Keep the shoulders back. Now, when you're ready, lift the arms over the head. Again, keeping the shoulders in their sockets, but find that space, maybe reaching up from the sides of the rib cage, elongating the spinal column, making space.
and breathing. And when you're ready, you can release the belt and drop it by your side. You can release the brick and bring your feet back with the big toes touching, lift and spread the little toes. And just take a moment here with your hands at your side in this position, in this posture that we just worked on. Softening the eyes or closing them if you have your balance, and just noticing the sensations. How does it feel to be in your body now? With this opening, strength work, feeling the flow of energy crisscrossing the body. And you can release. Coming back onto your mat, if you'd like, bringing the toes together, and we're going to do a little bit of balance work here. So actually you can be off the mat if you'd prefer. Sometimes it's easier to balance on a hard floor. Interlock your fingers in front of you, lift them, turn them at the neck and press up. Come pulling yourself up onto your toes as you do so. Staying on your toes, let's inhale and go to the right or your left. Staying on your toes, exhale, come back to center. Inhale, go to the other side, squeeze, 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 the whole core here. Exhale, back to center. And you can reach the heels and bring your arms down, shake it out a little bit. Now interlock the fingers. This time we're going to stay on our heels, lift the arms up, press the top, and exhale, come down to your right side, finding a nice stretch in the side of the body. Maybe pressing with that left foot down as your left arm is overhead and finding that stretch in that side of the body. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, other side, stretch. Relax the jaw and inhale back to center. Shake it out. Now grabbing a brick. Last week we did some one-legged stands. And again, if you still need to use the wall or a table or chair or whatever to hold on to, feel free to do that or to have it close to you so that you don't fall. And we're going to this time we're going to bring the leg up. Again, find your drishti, your point of focus. Transfer the weight onto the other side, engage your core, bring that leg up, put the brick so that it's long ways between your thigh and your elbow. Other arm comes to the waist and squeeze. And breathe, squeeze, and breathe. Now, if you'd like, you can open. And come back to center. And we'll do the other side. Shake it out. Transfer the weight onto the opposite leg. Find your point of view, engage your core. And come back to center, and you can release. Feel free to do that more, longer, throughout the day. Wonderful and important thing for us to be working on constantly. Taking a wide step onto your mat so that your feet are at a 90-degree angle, so they're facing forward, but we're taking a nice wide step about the length of a leg. Hands on your hips. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, the hips come back. Hands go to the floor, preferably between your feet, with your feet, your hands, and your head in alignment. Now, if this isn't available to you, just come to whatever point it is. It's not important for the head to be on the floor. Mine isn't today. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
And breathe. We're letting the hips go back a little bit. But really feeling the stretch on the inner legs, the hamstrings, the hips, wherever. And if you'd like, you can walk the hands forward, finding a stretch lengthwise in the spine while you're simultaneously working on the legs. So just letting this your body sort of hang between the hands and the hips, as well as between the feet. Relax the head. Make sure you're shaking the head yes and no. It's not involved here. Yeah, and when you're ready, let's walk the hands up to towards the body. Heel toe your feet into about hip width. Bring your hands to your waist. Engage your core. Press through the heels and hinge up to standing. Now, standing at the front of your mat, just some hip opening work. With your feet about hip width apart, we're going to just take a step back. Now, my feet are about hip width apart. So one foot is closer to that side of the mat. The other foot back here is closer to the back of the mat. Oh, before we get started, let's bring the bricks up to the front of your mat, one on either side, just so they're there. We're just going to lunge forward and then straighten the leg. Lunge, straighten, back leg pretty much stays straight, but it can bend a little bit if it needs to too. Just working on that hip, a little opening, a little stretching, a little strengthening. Let's do about, 8 or 10 of these. Gentle and breathe. And then step to the front of the mat. We'll do the other side. Again, taking a wide step back, finding your balance. And again, I'm going to just lunge, straighten, lunge, straighten. Again, do as many as is comfortable. I'm going to do about 10, a couple more. And when you're ready, step to the front of your mat. Bringing your arms up, hands above your head, exhale, hinging from the hips down to the floor. Now grab a brick, soften the knees, and we're just going to hang here and work the legs, bending your knees one at a time, loosening up the hips. I'm just relaxing on the brick with my hands and walking my legs. Couple more. And when you're done with that, bring your bricks to the front on either side. We're going to step back. I'm going to step back with my left leg. Both legs are straight. Then I'm going to lunge and then straighten into sort of a pyramid pose. And you can play with this, bring that front heel up if you'd like, and then lunge. The foot or the toes up, not the heel. You're pivoting on the heel rather. Using the bricks for support. Gentle movements here, just rocking that hip. Again, 8, 10, whatever feels comfortable to you. And when you're ready, bring both feet up together, and then let's go back to the other one. Same. Rock, lunge, rock, lunge, rock, lunge, rock. Keep your gaze somewhat forward so that you're not constricting the airways, keeping your chin up, so to speak. And when we're done with that, let's come down onto our knees and come back to a seated position. So bringing with one leg crossed, actually one can be straight if you'd like. And we're just going to move my stuff out of the way here. Rock the cradle. So I'm going to bring one leg up. I'm going to hold, to mirror you, I'm holding my left knee with my left hand and my left foot with the other hand. And I'm just going to rock into that hip, rocking the baby. Maybe doing some circles. Maybe going the other way. Just noticing how that hip feels. And when you're ready, release that, shake it out. Let's do the other side. And again, maybe noticing the difference between the two legs. Everybody's one side is different than the other. You can maybe make a bigger circle with one side or the other. And you can release, shake it out. Now bringing your feet under your knees. So it's sort of a cross-legged position, but I've got an open triangle between my legs here with my feet somewhat underneath my knees. They don't quite fit there, but they're flexed and underneath. I'm going to lift and move the skin away from my hip bones. Inhale, bringing my arms up, and exhale, hinging forward, bringing the hands to the floor. Now, again, as in all of our forward folds, this isn't about bending your back and touching your nose to the floor. It's about elongating the spine, creating that traction by pressing down on the hip bones and reaching forward with the hands. You can certainly relax the chin and drop the head a little bit if you'd like. Feeling that stretch. Release as you breathe. Releasing the hips. And when you're ready, you can walk the hands up. Now, whichever foot is in the front, switch it so that the other one is now on the front. We'll do the other side. Again, feet are flexed and somewhat under our knees. Hip bones are connected with the floor. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Hands come to the floor. Finding your stretch. Pressing down with the hips. Reaching forward with the hands. As though there was a golden rope coming out of the top of the crown of your head, and you're being pulled forward, finding that length, elongating the spine, simultaneously opening and widening the hips. Couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, walk yourself up. Shake your legs out. Let's come onto our backs. Bringing a brick with you, and let's bring the brick between your knees and squeeze it. Roll your back so that the small of your back is on the floor, feeling the lengthening of the tailbone so that you're on the small of your back. With your arms out to the side, slowly drop the knees to the right side, engaging your core. Inhale, lifting up very slowly. Now, make sure you're keeping your knees well over your chest.
You don't want your knees down like that. You want your knees in as far as they can go in towards the chest. Exhale, coming down to the other side, using the arms for support here and only going down as far as is comfortable. Inhale, engage your core, bring the legs up. Exhale down to the other side and do these at your own pace, nice and slow, but make sure you're on the small of your back and that you're squeezing that brick to engage the core. Exhale to the other side and inhale up. Maybe one more. And exhale back up. One last ab work that I'd like to do. Bringing the brick, keeping your knees up over your belly. Let's bring the brick so that it's being pressed between the top of your thigh and your elbow. Bring your other knee and elbow up somewhat parallel to that. Squeezing that brick, let's reach with the arm, kick with your heel, only going as far down with the leg as is comfortable, being able to keep the small of the back on the floor and then in. Reach, pressing the small of the back against the floor and then in. It's a strong ab work here. I'm shaking. I hand and press. And again, maybe working up to 10 on each side. Let's just do maybe 4 here today. And then let's switch. Now we're going to bring the brick between the other knee and elbow. Squeeze it, engage that core, small of the back on the floor. Inhale, reach and kick for 1. Exhale, reach and kick for 2. Small the back on the floor, squeeze that brick, reach and kick for 3. And down. Reach and kick for 4. And down. You can put the brick to the side. Hands on the floor, and let's lift the hips and give them a little shimmy here. Bring the knees in, and let's just give them a little hug here, Apanasana. And when you're ready, let's extend the legs, extend the arms above your head, take a nice stretch, wiggles. And when you're ready, you can prepare for your Shavasana. If you'd like to cover up with your blankie, or just simply find a comfortable position with your feet rolling lazily to the side and begin scanning the body, checking the feet that they're nice and relaxed. The thighs are released. Wiggle your hips, make sure you're not holding any tension there. Relax the chest. Let the shoulders relax. The hands are facing up. And just at your side, check your chin and your jaw, your neck, and make sure they're relaxed, the space between your teeth. Relax the face, the eyes. Just allow and enjoy the benefit of our practice today to invigorate your body, energize your internal organs, open your heart. And when you're ready, coming back to the breath, gently wiggling your toes and your fingers, maybe rolling your head side to side. When you're ready, bringing your knees up over the body. Final little hug here. And then rolling over onto your right side. Keep your eyes closed for just another moment here, another breath. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed for another moment. Bring your hands to your heart, holding that intention that you may have set at the beginning of your class at the heart, enveloping it with the light and the energy, the love of our practice today, enveloping it with that energy and focusing on its reality. Thank you for sharing your practice with me this week. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everyone. As usual, if you have any questions or things you're dealing with or struggling with, or just anything at all, feel free to reach out through email. And I hope you have a lovely week.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.